Hey, it's Dr. Ernst, host of the AskDrErnst show. And if you have a thyroid problem, maybe you're taking Synthroid, levothyroxine, Armourthroid, or Natrethroid, or you're trying to do it naturally with some sort of a glandular, listen up. There's only 3 things that cause a hyperthyroid condition: nutrient deficiencies, leaky gut, or subluxation within your spine. Most people have never heard about the third cause, subluxation, so I've written an entire ebook on how to fix your thyroid and address all 3 causes: nutrient deficiencies, leaky gut, and subluxation. It's all yours free right now. Just simply text the word thyroid with your name and email to 704-906-2094. Imagine a workbook on how to fix your thyroid, lose weight, feel great, grow your hair back, get your energy back. It's all yours free. 704-906-2094. We just need your name, your email, and the word thyroid. Again, 704-906-2094. Again, 704-906-2094.
Beyond wine, we really care about health. The health of the planet and the health of each other. That's what inspired us to start this business. Our family of team members meets every morning for a group meditation, followed by an open gratitude session. We believe a sound mind with a focus on peace is the best instrument for change. Joint meditation is the cornerstone of our company culture, and it helps us remember what's important, spreading joy and love, just like our family growers. Our family is a collection of passionate, health-conscious individuals who love to laugh and enjoy each other's company. We eat seasonally, grow our own vegetables, cook together, and share wine. Our team is incredibly dedicated to our mission. Everything from sourcing the wines to answering service questions. Your natural wines are found and sourced around the world by our wine team. They taste every one, oversee their lab testing, and choose exactly which ones go in which box. If you order, your individual box will be packed by our incredibly hardworking fulfillment team. If you have any questions, your service requests will be handled by a wonderfully loving member experience family who only have one goal in mind: your 100% happiness. This video is put together by our talented media team, filmed and edited in-house, just like the rest of our artful media. From our unique creations to our printed lifestyle piece called A Matter of Taste. We put love into everything we do, and we hope to share it with you.
What if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1. We search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2. We test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3. We nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. My name is Dr. Ernst, and I am your host. And today we're going to be talking about a 30,000-foot view to fixing your thyroid. You know, the issue today is that if you've been struggling with fatigue, or how about unexplained weight gain, or mood swings, or chronic brain fog, or you've been dealing with a thyroid diagnosis. There's so many people today that are taking levothyroxine, Synthroid, Armourthroid, Natrethroid. Many doctors and even a lot of patients and people who are struggling with thyroid issues have never looked into the fact that there is a root cause of thyroid conditions. And I know you might be thinking like, oh my God, like it's hormones. It's an absolute mess. As soon as I stop or I start, like my body's revolting. How can I on earth fix this myself? Surely only an endocrinologist or only a trained doctor can do it. They'll medicate, they'll prescribe, but if you want to fix your thyroid, you need to be the endocrinologist. And so I want to show you today how you can uncover the root cause of hypo and even hyperthyroid, and you get to the core of fixing your thyroid. And you know, the nice thing is with the Ask Dr. Ernst show, our goal is always give. I have a Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook. It shows you the top strategies and techniques to fixing hypothyroid, hyperthyroid. If you're someone who's going, yeah, my thyroid needs help. I've been taking Synthroid, levothyroxine, Armourthroid. I'm dealing with fatigue and weight gain and my hair is falling out and I feel like my life is falling apart. Pick up the phone and text the word thyroid with your name and email to 704-906-2094. Again, 704-906-2094. We'll send the ebook to you. And coming up in about 4 weeks, it's the second Saturday of November, I'm hosting the Thyroid Heal Thyself Masterclass. We did this one back in the early part of the summertime. I haven't done a thyroid event in a while, so it's time to pull out thyroid health, energy, weight loss, vitality, full hair, no more feeling like it's cold and fatiguey and just icky, and no more medicating. So let's get into this, okay? There are only two types of thyroid issues. Type number one, hypothyroid. It's the one that almost everyone has. Literally, so many people struggle and deal with this one. Number two, hyperthyroid. A bit bigger of an issue. Sorry, one of my cameras is freaking out. It thinks that I am duplicating myself. So since it's face falling, it's going after him as well. I'm going to turn that off. We're just going to turn that off. That's annoying. There we go. Okay, so hyperthyroid, hypothyroid. If you had to think about it, between the two of them, 90% of people deal with a hypothyroid. So I'm only going to spend a couple minutes talking about the hyperthyroid. And hyperthyroid is just like it sounds. Your thyroid is overactive. You're cranking out thyroid hormones. Your body is in a state of overproduction of hormones. And if a thyroid hormone's job is to make you full of energy and vitality and be thin and everything, a hyperthyroid is going to make you highly anxious, give you heart palpitations, make you rapidly lose weight. These are the people who go, no matter what I do, I can't seem to gain weight. I'm only 96 pounds as a female, or I'm 120 pounds as a male. Irritability, anxiety, it's the rarer. Now you might be like, I'm irritable, I'm anxious, I got a problem. That don't just jump straight to hyperthyroid. This is quite rare. It's an autoimmune disease where the B cells, which produce antibodies, are making a tremendous amount of antibodies, and they happen to look exactly like the thyroid hormone. So those antibodies can land on the receptors in your body, and it's like, whoa, thyroid, wow, boom. But it's not actually thyroid. It's an antibody. Because it's an autoimmune disease, it is something that's a little more complicated to correct. But again, it's rare. 99.999%, well, the majority of you are going to be hypothyroid. So now we're going to spend the rest of the show on that. Hey, if you're someone who does, though, deal with Graves and hyperthyroid, shoot us a message, hit us up in the chat, use the comments. We can help you, but it's so rare, we're not going to talk exclusively about that today. Now, hypothyroid, the one that everybody's dealing with. This is where your thyroid gland either cannot make enough thyroid hormone, or you're not converting the hormone properly, or your body is converting it inappropriately into something that is called reverse thyroid hormone. And that's a Wilson's type of a syndrome, or where your body is overproducing a toxic thyroid, thus making you feel hypothyroid. So we have primary, which is where you physically don't produce the hormone. We have secondary, which is a conversion issue. You can produce the hormone, but you can't convert it. And we have tertiary, which is you're converting it, but you're converting it incorrectly into the toxic form. So are there 3 subsets? Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that? We got multiple cameras here. Did you know there's 3 subsets of hypothyroid? So for most people, they're told it's a malfunctioning gene. They're told it's bad luck. They're told there's nothing you can do about it. But here's the real thing about thyroid. Number 1, if you've been taking a thyroid medication for any duration longer than a year, you need to take action and download our Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook. It's free. It's available. All you have to do is text the word thyroid with your name and your email to 704-906-2094. I've got all the breakdowns. I've got all the stuff, the diet, the supplements, everything you need, like literally everything you need. And you can do that today just by texting that in. That's our free gift to you, 704-906-2094. And in that ebook, you're going to hear this. Ready? Top 3. Got it? 3 causes of hypothyroidism. Number 1, just rampant nutritional deficiencies. First up is probably one of the most overlooked conditional causes. Your thyroid relies on certain nutrients in order to even make the hormone in the first place. And because today, so many Americans and people living in America, our diets are so deficient in nutrients. We eat food, but there's nothing physically in it. So I'm talking about iodine. I'm talking about selenium. I'm talking about zinc. These are the top 3 nutrients you need to be able to do thyroid productivity. And without these nutrients, it simply can't. So if your iodine is low, can't make it. That's primary. If your selenium's low, can't produce it. Selenium's needed for that peroxidase enzyme to kick in and make the hormone in the thyroid. Zinc, again, same thing. It's an activator for the process, the production of T4. So if you're deficient in these, you can't do it. Iodine, as you may know, is crucial. And today people will say, oh, I'm getting plenty of iodine because of my salt or because of my diet. But guess what? If you are avoiding toxic white salt like you should be, then you're not getting your iodine from your salt. Pink, Himalayan, and Celtic salts have a small amount, but not a ton. So what do? Sometimes you have to take iodine. Liquid iodine in a glass of water, drink it. Sometimes you have to eat seaweed. So sea vegetables, it's a perfect way of doing it. It's the most crucial element needed for the production of your thyroid hormones. One way you can find out if you're deficient in iodine is feel around. If you can feel your thyroid and it's a little lobular or nodule, or you've got an enlarged thyroid, that's a goiter or a pre-goiter. It's where your body's enlarging the gland because you don't have enough iodine. Number 2, you can do what's called the iodine skin test. Go to a pharmacy and buy a small bottle of iodine. And it's the kind that's topically used, so we're not going to drink this stuff. It's the one that, if you put on your hand, it turns yellow. And what you do is you sort of paint a little square or rectangle on your arm, and then you're measuring the amount of time that it takes for that to disappear. In a general rule, it should be gone within about an hour or so, maybe 2 hours at the most, okay? If, on the other hand, I've inverted this. It should not be gone within the first hour or 2. If you have a severe iodine deficiency, you're going to paint that thing on your arm, and within a couple hours, it's going to be gone because your body's like, whoa, there's actually iodine in the skin, and it sucks all the iodine out super fast. If it's still there a couple hours later, or maybe the next day, if you paint your arm and you got a nice iodine rectangle, you go to bed, you wake up the next day, and you can still see it, then you've got a decent amount of iodine in your body because it didn't suck the iodine out of your skin. So if you do this iodine skin test and it disappears rapidly, like within the matter of 30 minutes, an hour or 2, it shows you that you really do need iodine. Okay, so selenium is the next major ingredient, and this is what's unique about selenium. It is the activator. It is the key that will turn on thyroid peroxidase. It is responsible for the production of T4. So you can't make the hormone without it. Now watch this. Here's the kicker. You can't convert it into active thyroid hormone T3 without it either. Selenium is absolutely essential. Zinc, very much in the similar process, is involved in the conversion of T4 to T3. So if you're deficient in iodine, selenium, or zinc, guess what? You're not going to be able to produce the hormone. And unfortunately, in classic medicine, they don't test for these. They just go, your T4 is low, here's a prescriptive medication, have a nice day. Most physicians are not looking at it. They will just simply prescribe synthetic hormones, and they'll tell you need to be on them for life, when in fact, the first thing you should do is get a functional test. Holistic physicians, functional medicine practitioners, even some chiropractors locally can run tests for vitamins and minerals and nutrients, iodine, zinc, and selenium. They're part of our standard panels we do on all new patients because we need to know, are you nutrient fed or not? All right, cause number two, why your thyroid is not working to its fullest potential. Leaky gut. We talked about this being a 30,000-foot view towards what's going on with thyroids and why are they so struggling today. Step number one, we're not eating the nutrients we need to produce the hormone. We talked about them, iodine, selenium, zinc. Number two, we're not cleaning out our guts. You've all heard it said that your immune system is in your digestive system. I talk about this on every radio show I've ever done. I talk about it on every masterclass ever. It's gaining popularity in all the functional spaces. You have Dr. Gundry, Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Josh Axe, all these gurus who are like, celebrity doctors will say, if your gut's leaking, you're going to have a problem with every organ in your body, including your thyroid. Your gut is responsible for protecting you from leakage of proteins and micronutrients and bacteria and toxins and proteins. And so we don't want that crud in our blood. All right. So when your gut's inflamed, no matter if it's because it's a poor diet that did it, or you have a food allergy that did it, or you have some sort of intolerance that did that, or you've been eating gluten because you still, for whatever reason, think that bread is healthy. Whole grains, Dr. Ernst, I eat whole wheat. You're punching holes. Get it? Holes in your gut. Whole wheat makes holes in your gut. Not physical holes, but you get the idea. It's proverbial, like little tiny punches, right, inside the gut, where the cells have spread apart and you're leaking physically into the blood nutrients that you don't want in the blood. Okay, so when proteins that are undigested get in your blood, freak out and you build antibodies. When bacteria get in your blood, freak out and you build antibodies. So what we've now discovered is that this process known as molecular mimicry, where certain proteins from foods like corn and wheat and rice and oats and soy and lectins and all this stuff, when these proteins from these plants leak across the membrane, your body goes, build an antibody to those food particles because they shouldn't be in your blood. And unfortunately, they look a lot like the thyroid hormone, the backbone of the globulin protein. They look a lot like that. And they look a lot like the enzyme called thyroid peroxidase. So what happens is a leaky gut perpetuates an autoimmune condition where instead of it being hyperthyroid autoimmune, it's now hypothyroid autoimmune. And this is known as Hashimoto's. So what happens is a gut that's leaking leads to antibodies being produced against two things. Thyroglobulin, I want you to think of it as like the backbone, right? It's the actual protein barrier. And it is the enzyme that turns this protein into the hormone. So if we attack the enzyme, that's called thyroid peroxidase. If we attack the hormone, that's called thyroglobulin antibodies. So what we end up finding is we have a tremendous amount of antibody production that then attacks physically the production and the hormone itself. Okay, number 3. Well, listen, here's the issue. Most of you that have thyroid problems, you have this type of thyroid condition, and you have the autoimmunity more than likely, but you are not being told because you never got the right tests. So oftentimes people will say, I am tired, I am fatigued, I can't lose weight, my life is falling apart, I sound like a thyroid patient. And then when you go get tested, because they don't test for autoimmunity inherently, they just do TSH and T4, it could come back normal, and they say, you're making it all up. And in reality, if you had the real thyroid test run, which would go down to the T4 free and bound, the 3 free and bound, the indexes of all hormones, and then looking at the enzymes and the peroxidase antibodies and the globulin antibodies, you'd find that your hypothyroid is caused by the autoimmunity, which is caused by the gut. Cause number 2, guys, leaky gut. Look, if you have a thyroid problem and you've been taking medications for 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18 years, guaranteed gut's involved. Guaranteed you're nutrient deficient. And guaranteed you've got cause number 3. Okay, everything I'm talking about, guys, is summarized in the Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook, which is yours free today. Like, it's free. Just simply pick up the phone. The only cost you have is the movement of your thumbs. 704-906-2094. Text the word thyroid with your name and email, and boom, we'll send it to you. And you get instant pre-registered access to the Thyroid Heal Thyself Masterclass, second Saturday of November. Okay, so like, do it. Like, you really need to do this. I mean, I don't know how easier I can make it than free and directly to you. It's about a 25-page book. It shows you all the types of the thyroid conditions. It shows you how to diagnose it off your own labs. It shows you diets and supplements and recipes and all kinds of stuff. So it's basically our cheat sheet to you fixing it now. And if you, for some reason, don't fix it on your own, come to the masterclass, and then we'll show you how to do it even better. Okay, so cause number 1, do you guys remember what it was? Nutrient deficiencies, selenium, zinc, and iodine. Cause number 2, gut inflammation, aka leaky gut, where the cells of your intestines have been spread apart because of chronic damage and abuse from a diet full of lectins and glutens and processed foods. And then we leak the food proteins we eat across the the gut-brain barriers, which allow us, well, you get the idea, across the blood barriers in the gut that allow us to keep everything tight. So we leak these proteins, we spike in autoimmunity, antibodies get formed. Because of molecular mimicry, the antibodies, they can't tell the difference between wheat and your thyroid or wheat and your hormones. So boom, 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 boom. The attack starts happening. So thyroid production goes down. You'll be labeled hypothyroid. And now here's the issue. To a medical facility, here's your prescription again. It's the same thing. You could be nutrient deficient. Here's your prescription. You could be autoimmune. Here's your prescription. So see, they're not doing it right. Okay, cause number 3. Here's one nobody talks about in the medical world. Very few functional doctors talk about this, and only a truly rooted, I'll call it subluxation-based, structural-based, functional chiropractor will talk to you about nerve damage. And I'm not talking about the nerve damage that you're thinking of, like, where, I got this crick in my neck and a zinger down my arm. I'm talking about the silent nerve damage known as subluxation. Here's something that you probably never thought about. Your spine connects directly to your thyroid. And if you have an interference in the nerves that control the thyroid, hopefully this makes sense. If I was to yank the cord on this microphone, you wouldn't hear me. It'd be like, and it's not that we stopped. It's just I reached forward and I grabbed the gain and I turned it to 0. So again, there are wires. You guys see these wires that connect this microphone to you. So if I cut the wire, I'm still here. You're still there. I'm still talking. You can't hear. So in the same fashion, your brain is sending signals down the spinal cord, over the nerve roots, and to your thyroid. And your thyroid's going, got it. Yep, you want more hormones? Got your back. We can do it. And then the thyroid's like, hey, we're making a lot of hormones, sends a signal back, and the brain's like, I got it. There is a neurological connection. So your thyroid is regulated multiple ways neurologically. Hypothalamic, that's a brain tissue. Pituitary, another brain tissue. They send thousands and thousands of signals neurologically back and forth to each other. And what happens is when you have a misalignment in the spine, specifically in the middle of your neck, that communication loop neurologically doesn't happen. We know there's a hormone loop, TSH, T4, communication, stimulation hormones, but what most people don't talk about is the raw neurological connection. If there's disruption of the C5, C6, C7 nerve root, thyroid starts to become disconnected. As a chiropractor, I see it all the time. Patient comes in with hypothyroid. We do a special spinal alignment test. We use digital thermography and x-ray. We do structural exams. We find about 95% of the time there's a correlative subluxation and or disc nerve issue in the zone affecting the thyroid. So what do? We don't throw medications at a person. We don't even diagnose them with thyroid conditions. We say, that right there is a subluxation. It's located at C5, 6, and or 7. And the nerves from your brain are not communicating to your thyroid properly. Oh, by the way, we also ran some tests. You're deficient in iodine, selenium, and zinc. Oh, and by the way, we also ran a leaky gut test, and you're leaking by blank percentage. We're finding evidence of lectins and glutens and mimicking proteins in your blood, spiking in autoimmune disease. And we did the right blood test, and we found the antibodies, and you're scoring blank. 30, 60, 90, 100. And because we now know this, the root cause has been discovered. You have all three. You have a neurological involvement, you have a nutritional deficiency, and you may have an autoimmunity. Now, if you're thinking like, oh, just sign the death certificate, like how am I going to get out of that? Your medical doctor would say, take more meds, continue to do what you're doing. You guys do know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and yet expecting a different result. Gee, doc, I've been on thyroid meds for 5 years and my TSH is going up. Yeah, you know what? Let's just give you more. So how come it's not currently working? Well, you just need more now. Your condition's getting worse. You need more. So we do the same thing. We take more medications, right? 2 years go by, TSH keeps climbing. And then you go back to the doctor and they're like, well, you just need more. Like, it's just how it works. Like, you're getting older, so you need more. And so we're just doing the same thing. We're medicating and we're medicating. And we're expecting the body to react and respond in a healing state. Good luck with that. It's kind of like I'm expecting my kids to clean the house by themselves. Yeah, they should, shouldn't they? An 8-year-old should just innately know. Get home, take the dogs out, clean the house. And for some reason, he doesn't do that. Instead, they go straight to the refrigerator, they eat all the food, and then they go downstairs and they play video games all day. What's the deal? So it's the same thing. If you don't understand the root cause, you'll never get out of the trap. The root cause in that 8-year-old analogy is the parents have got to be the orchestrators. Stop that, do this. Guess what nutrients do? Hey, make this hormone. Here's the iodine. Your brain tells it, do this, don't do that. So if you really want to get out of a thyroid condition naturally, all you have to do is learn what kind of thyroid condition do you have. Is it hyper? Very rare. Are you high T4, low TSH, hyperthyroid symptoms, anxiety, nervousness, shakiness, can't seem to gain weight? Again, very rare. Or are you the classic person? Tired all the time, fatigued, cold, hair's falling out, can't lose weight, frustrated, depressed. This is all hormone issues. And so now we define it as hypothyroid, but we don't just stop there and we don't just medicate. We go, what kind? What kind? Is it primary? Are you not producing? Is it secondary? Are you not converting? Or is it tertiary and you're converting inappropriately? And is it caused by a nutrient deficiency? Or is it caused by a leaky gut? Or is it caused by subluxation? Hey, when we come back from this commercial break, I'm going to teach you how to fix all three causes. And right now is your opportunity to grab that free ebook. Text the word thyroid with your name and your email to 704-906-2094, and we'll send it to you right now. Questions will be open on the live chats on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter during the commercial breaks, and we will be right back.
To bring you the best natural wine the world has to offer, we've designed a fully curated membership program. Every selection you receive is different and unique. Every wine is picked by our wine team, lab tested for purity, and curated into a special box for your enjoyment. So how does the membership work? We offer two main options: a half case of 6 bottles or a full case of 12. You can request all reds, all whites, or a perfect split of both. Then, you can set the frequency, monthly or every other month. We offer a similar simple membership for rosé and sparkling wines. After you choose these basic options, we'll do the rest. With every box we send you, we aim to present the greatest diversity of flavors, textures, and profiles. There's a healthy mix of the classics, but also rare varietals. We do this because natural wines taste different from their commercial counterparts. We want to share the best possible experience with you, so you can discover new wines you love. And you can always reorder a wine that took your heart, or ask us to avoid certain profiles. The best part is, you don't need any wine knowledge to fully enjoy these boxes. We curate our selections to be enjoyed without worry. Ultimately, this is Dry Farm Wines. We are so grateful to be able to share the power of natural wines with you.
Purity Coffee is setting a new standard for healthy coffee. We lab test to be free of pesticides, mold, and mycotoxins, and we roast for high antioxidant and low acrylamide levels. When it comes to your coffee, purity matters. You will be able to taste and feel the difference. For first-time customers, we are offering 15% off new orders with the code YouTube. A lot of our customers say that purity makes them feel as good as it tastes.
Hey, it's Dr. Ernst, host of the AskDrErnst show. And if you have a thyroid problem, maybe you're taking Thyroid, levothyroxine, Thyroid, or Thyroid, or you're trying to do it naturally with some sort of a glandular, listen up. There's only 3 things that cause a hyperthyroid condition: nutrient deficiencies, leaky gut, or subluxation within your spine. Most people have never heard about the third cause, subluxation, so I've written an entire ebook on how to fix your thyroid and address all 3 causes: nutrient deficiencies, leaky gut, and subluxation. It's all yours free right now. Just simply text the word thyroid with your name and email to 704-906-2094. Imagine a workbook on how to fix your thyroid, lose weight, feel great, grow your hair back, get your energy back. It's all yours free. 704-906-2094. We just need your name, your email, and the word thyroid. Again, 704-906-2094. Again, 704-906-2094. Welcome back. Happy Saturday. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. Hey, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you get to be set free from your health problems when you become your own doctor. And really, it's not that hard to do that these days with AI technology. If you guys didn't hear it, we interviewed ChatGPT a couple episodes ago. You can actually ask any health question you want, and you get really good functional answers if the prompt says, help me fix blank naturally. So the excuse of today is, there's no longer you can say, I don't know what's causing my condition. I don't know what I can do. I'm just going to follow my doctor's advice. I'm just going to take meds the rest of my life. That's old school mentality. As a functional physician, as a chiropractor, as a holistic doctor, I've seen people break free from some of the most audacious diagnoses. Autoimmunities have been told they can't ever go away. Diabetes, long-standing thyroid issues, cardiovascular problems, even cancers I've seen improve when you become educated and you get the knowledge and you get the tools and you just go act. It's amazing how the human body is designed to heal by itself. Our topic of the day today, if you're just joining us or tuning in after that long cluster of commercials, is how to fix your thyroid. Like so many people deal with thyroid problems. In fact, it's estimated that about 1/3 of Americans have some level of a thyroid problem. With about 20 million Americans physically diagnosed, Synthroid is one of the largest reoccurring subscription prescriptions out there. It goes back and forth between statins and antidepressants and Synthroid. So you got to look at it and say, hey, it's within the top 3 of all prescribed drugs that people swallow daily. So it must be a big deal if it's in the top 3. And if you have a thyroid problem, you're going to know, oh yeah, it's a big deal. Like it wrecks my life. It sucks the life out of my energy. I can't lose weight. My hair's falling out. My eyebrows are disappearing. I feel like I'm lazy. I feel unmotivated. I've got brain fog. I can't seem to remember anything. My nails are falling out. My skin's turning ashy. I'm cold all the time. I mean, I could keep going. You know, I used to have a thyroid problem. I had no idea that it was an actual autoimmune disease. Globulin antibodies through the roof. Had a gut leak. Had a subluxation in my neck. 20 years ago, someone showed me the way out. And now I study this. I became a chiropractor. I became a doctor of natural medicine. I got certifications in functional medicine and integrative healing. We've launched a fully integrative clinic here in Charlotte, and it's grown to 2, now almost 3. Within the next couple months, 3 physical locations serving hundreds of people daily that are breaking free from disease. And if you need some help, we're here. So all during the show today, I'm giving away a free ebook. I wrote this for you and you and you. And the ebook is designed to help you learn what you need to know about your thyroid and then go fix it. We talked at the top of the hour. There's only 3 things that cause a thyroid problem. Nutrient deficiencies. See if you remember what they are. Iodine, selenium, and zinc. Good job. You guys are doing really well. Then we talked about leaky gut and how so many people have this ominous issue where they're eating foods that are punching microscopic holes in it. We said it's really easy to remember it. Whole grain means holes in your gut. Wait a minute. You're saying whole grains are bad? Yes, I am. Whole grain wheat, high in gluten. Gluten's known to induce leaky gut. Whole grain corn, okay? It's a corn, it's a whole. It's still the same thing. Massively inflammatory, causes gut leak. Oats, rice, beans, lectins, all this stuff is directly linked. Did you know there was a study published not too long ago? You can actually get a simple blood test to find out if your gut's leaking. You have to look at the marker called zonulin. Zonulin, Z-O-N-U-L-I-N. If you've got high zonulin in your blood, gut's leaking. Good question you're asking, right? How does zonulin have anything to do with gut leak? Well, see, when gluten and lectins land on the cell membrane of the gut, then what happens is the cell gets irritated and it pops off a molecule called zonulin. that zonulin lands on the next cell and it goes, and it opens the gate. And then we have a gut leak. So if you have a lot of zonulin floating around, you have a lot of gut leak. So that's one test you can do. I like looking at all the biomarkers using an organic acids profile. We can look for bacteria, fungus, yeast, parasites. We can measure the gap using an allotonin marker. It looks for chronic inflammation within the intestines. And we get a score, 46% or 82%. So like we can actually tell how leaky your gut is. Hey, if you want information about that and the testing, download the free ebook, Thyroid Heal Thyself. It's all in there, plus protocols on how to fix your thyroid, including the diet for thyroid, including the nutrients for thyroid, including the alternatives to some of the medications, all in the ebook, all free. You just need to text your first name, your last name, and the word thyroid to 704-906-2094, and we'll send it straight to you. And you also get access to a masterclass that we're hosting the second Saturday, of November. And hey, a quick apology to our YouTube streamers. Our camera went flippy on us. I think I forgot to plug it in and the battery died. So we are back streaming live. If my team caught it quick enough, they probably shuttled you guys over to one of these two cameras. But we have, YouTube and Instagram over here. I'm sorry, this is X and Instagram there. Facebook gets its own camera. YouTube gets its own camera. And if you don't know this, we stream live every single week so that you can have fresh content. You got these awesome video graphics my new team is doing for us. So let's give a little bit of a shout out and love to our media team. So where are we? Oh, right. Second half of the show is fix it. First half is always, here's the problem. Second half is let's fix it. And I know there's some hecklers out there who are like, why don't you do the let's fix it first and then talk about the problem second? Because you have to know the problem in order to fix it. So we have either a nutrient deficiency, we have a gut leak, or we have a subluxation. So now let's talk about how do we fix this. And hopefully it makes sense that the easiest way for you to fix something is to stop doing what you've been doing to cause it. So if there's a nutrient deficiency, maybe we should test ourselves to see if we have an iodine deficiency. I gave you guys a free test on how to do that. If you weren't here for the top of the hour, run off to Target, Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS, wherever you can, and buy a bottle of topical iodine. It's a sterilizing agent. It's probably going to be in the antiseptic zones, but it's going to be a bottle, I don't know, about that big, and it's going to have this, and you rub it on your arm. It will turn a kind of tannish, sort of yellowish color like my watch band today. And what you're doing is you're trying to see how long does it take for that to go away. So let's say you put it on at 4 in the afternoon, and by 7 or 8 o'clock, it's gone. Like you can't even see it. That'd be a severe iodine deficiency. If you put it on at 4 or 5 o'clock and you wake up the next morning and you can still see it, but it's somewhat down, that's a deficiency, but not a severe one. And if you put it on and the next day it's still there in all its glory and it hasn't budged an inch, then you're not deficient. Now, is that a diagnostic definitive test? No, by no way is that going to tell you how bad your iodine deficiency is. But it at least is something free, for lack of the cost of the iodine, that you can do today or this weekend and find out how bad it is. It's kind of fun. Stack your whole family, see who can last the longest, who can keep the iodine on their skin the longest, because the winner has the better iodine. The loser needs iodine. You can get iodine in an oral format. Don't use that stuff orally. Lugol's 2% iodine available on most .coms, and it's 1 droplet in a glass of water. Caution though, caution. As a doctor, I have to give this caution. Functional physician, chiropractor, holistic physician. Do not take iodine if you have an autoimmune disease that you know of, like Hashimoto's, because ramping up the production of the hormone and then causing antibodies to attack that hormone, you're only going to make it worse. So I throw this out as a word of caution. I've been working with thyroid patients for over 20 years. Do not take iodine if you know you have thyroid peroxidase antibodies elevations or thyroglobulin elevations, or you've been diagnosed Hashimoto's, you do not want to pour iodine on an autoimmune thyroid. Hopefully that makes sense. You're attacking the hormone and you're not going to want to make more hormone. We have to calm that attack down first, confirm there's no autoimmunity, then you can start taking iodine. Okay, so the other thing we have to address in fixing this problem is the just rampant failure of medicine, conventional medicine. Here's the problem, in my opinion, with conventional thyroid treatments. Number one, they focus solely on the suppression of TSH. TSH is elevated. Oh my God, you need thyroid medications because we have to push it down. Okay, rather than finding the root cause, almost all of you taking a medication like levothyroxine or Armour or Thyroid or Thyroid or any prescriptive synthetic T4, all you're doing is chasing the wheel of TSH. And the problem is TSH was the gold standard for thyroid testing. If TSH was high, oh my God, you must have low thyroid. If TSH is super low, oh my God, you must have hyperthyroid. But we've now learned that TSH is an intermediary in this massive communication between your hypothalamic, pituitary, thyroid, and adrenal complex. You can't just look at TSH anymore. For some of you, the problem isn't that your TSH is too low. It's that you're not converting the hormone properly. For some of you, you're not even making it properly. For some of you, you convert it perfectly, but you're converting it into the wrong hormone. So your brain says, we don't have enough of the good hormone. We have a lot of the bad hormone, the toxic reverse T3, but we don't have enough of the healthy T3. So conventional doctors rarely ever look beyond TSH and T4. So if those are normal, but your life is falling apart, they're going to say it's not your thyroid. And that's a problem because it is technically half true. It's not your thyroid. It's another issue. It's a nutrient deficiency. It's a gut leak, or it's a subluxation. So we can't also forget that in the functional world, the autoimmunity is completely ignored. Guess how they treat someone who's diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroid. Here's your Synthroid. Keep taking it. And the problem becomes that's like pouring gas on coals hoping that you put out the fire. Right? And instead you ignite it. Remember, an autoimmune disease means antibodies are attacking the hormone. So if you take the hormone, you induce more attack. So we can't just keep looking at the simplistic method of TSH and T4 testing. So if you really want to get into it, let's start with number one, nutrient supplementation. I gave you a caution if you are diagnostic Hashimoto's autoimmune with a TSH that is normal and an antibody that is elevated, or with a thyroglobulin antibody elevated, you must get tested first. Don't just blanketly go out and start pumping iodine. Okay? I'm a big fan of test rather than guess. Are there tests you can do to find out how much iodine you have in your body? You bet there are. Are there tests that look for selenium and zinc? Absolutely. We do it with a hair test because every follicle of hair has a blood supply, and as nutrients are flowing across that follicle and it's printing your hair like it does every single day, we can see how much of the nutrients are inside of you. So it goes beyond just taking these supplements. We have to remember that usually nutrient deficiencies are stemming from the gut leak because we're not absorbing it. We have to get rid of triggers that cause inflammation and flare-ups for autoimmunity. Gluten is a big one. Wheat must be out. Dairy is a big one. Casein is a protein that is very inflammatory. Whole grains is a big issue because even though you think it's healthy for you, it is not, period. Corn, inflammatory. Rice, full of toxins, loaded with carbohydrates, and again, very inflammatory. So you might be thinking, like, what the heck am I supposed to eat then? Well, download the Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook. It's free. Simply text your first name and your last name with the word thyroid to 704-906-2094, and we'll send it to you. The whole diet, the entire supplemental regimen, everything you need to turn a thyroid around fast is in there. Now let's talk about your gut, because this is a big one. How do we fix a leaky gut? We discussed that if it's inflamed, it impacts how you convert your T4 into your T3. But the first step to solving a gut is you must remove the inflammatory foods. And again, we listed them for you. Gluten. This is breads and pastas and bagels and cookies and crackers and sandwiches. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's all the food I love. The reason you love it so much is because you've been programmed to eat it because it's known to destroy human health. Think about that for a moment. The food industry wants you to eat foods that make you sick because the food industries are in bed with the pharmaceutical company, which is in bed with the American Medical Association, which is in bed with your doctors. That's one orgy you don't want to be involved in. So you got to get out of it. Okay? Do I eat wheat? No. Do I eat grains? Absolutely not. Do I consume dairy? Nope. So what do I eat? I just eat real food, guys. Meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds, fermented foods. It's actually quite satisfying when you build your taste buds for real food instead of fake food. Can't emphasize enough how much your gut is connected to your thyroid. So step number 1 to healing a gut is remove. Get rid of the things that are punching holes in it. Then the step number 2 is to repair the intestines. It's a 4R process. Remove, repair, reinoculate, and regenerate. All you have to do is just remove what's causing the damage. And the neat thing is the human gut repairs itself in about 14 days. Each regeneration cycle of the mucosal lining is roughly 14 days. So if you just rest it for 14 days, so this is why we need to do broths and nutrient-dense foods for about 2 weeks, and you'll see your digestive system will turn. A couple turns, 3, 4, 5 turns, so maybe about 4 months, and you'd completely regenerate from top to bottom your intestines. Then we need to reinoculate. That's where we talk about probiotics. Now, we don't throw probiotics at a leaky gut. So, like, word of caution, because so many people say, Dr. Ernst, I've got a leaky gut, but I'm taking probiotics. No, you're going to leak the probiotics right across the membrane, and you're going to cause an autoimmunity to the very bacteria that you think are good for you because you can't fix a leak with probiotics. I'm going to repeat this. You can't fix a leak with probiotics. Probiotics are the third step. We remove everything that's causing inflammation. Probiotics to an inflamed gut cause inflammation. Number 2, we let it repair by itself by releasing the stress and burden on the intestines. Fasting, intermittent fasting, eating only proteins and greens and nuts and seeds and fermented foods. And then we reinoculate after about 3 weeks. Probiotics are needing to be done on a rotational cycle because if you constantly throw the same probiotic at your gut, you will make a dysbiosis. Okay, you can't fix a gut with probiotics. It's part of the process, but it's not the only process. Then we got to regenerate. And regeneration is reconnecting your brain, spinal cord, and neurological pathways to your gut. Again, all of this is laid out for you in detail in the Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook. It's yours free. Just simply text your name, your email, and the word thyroid, and we'll send it to you today for free. Okay, I've got about 6 minutes left, so I'm saving the best for the last. Chiropractic and your central nervous system and its connection to thyroid. The final solution may not be one that immediately comes to your mind, but it is absolutely critical that you make sure the mid-cervical spine is free and clear of subluxation. It's a phrase that means less light, less power, less energy flowing through the nerves in your neck that go to your thyroid. As we discussed earlier, your thyroid requires a wire. It has a wire, just like this microphone has a wire. And if I cut the wire, what happens is you can't hear me. I just went silent for a second, didn't I? No, I turned the gain down. And if I turn the gain down, the microphone doesn't transfer my voice, and so you can't hear me. So if we turn the gain down in your neck by crushing a nerve, asymptomatically, most of these things you can't feel. Subtle misalignment takes about the pressure of a dime to shut off nerve function 40%. So many people have neurological misalignments in their neck that affect their thyroid and their heart and their lungs, their liver. So what nerves do it? C5, 6, and 7. It's the lower base of the neck. It is the number one zone for degenerative arthritis to show up in the spine. Because when your head is forward and you're grinding your discs, C5 takes the brunt load. The disc can start to get cracked. You can herniate and or micro tear. Then the C5 nerve root becomes inflamed. And then everything down below that 6 and 7 and T1 start to become affected. I've had countless patients come in with a thyroid that is, underactive for 20 plus years. Popping pills left and right that started at 25, then they went to 50, then they went to 75, then they went to 100, then they went to 150, and they're going, doc, how do I get out of this loop? And we go, hey, nobody showed you that your neck is falling apart. Internally, the discs are crushed. The vertebrae are out of alignment. The nerves are squeezed. And I know you can't feel it because there's only a portion of the spine that feels pain. And unless you herniate a disc or you tear something, it's not going to hurt. So these asymptomatic subluxations squeeze the life out of a nerve. And then the thyroid goes, I don't have the power I need. That could be the third cause. So how do we fix that? Well, you need a specific style of chiropractic. Don't just go to a chiropractor who says they can feel this, because these bones are tiny and the nerves are even smaller. You must get, at least at the minimum, a spinal thermography so you can see the zones of the spine and their heat signatures. You need to have some sort of an ortho neuro exam, and you need to have an x-ray. Even if you have no pain, the x-ray shows the biostructural ligamentous stability. It's a test that is done on the x-ray. How we do it is we have you stand at your side, we take an x-ray, you look up to the ceiling, we take an x-ray, and you look down to the floor and we take an x-ray, and we're looking at how the joints are physically moving, because a movement abnormality can be detected, and then we use specific instrument-based structural chiropractic through the group's Cornerstone Health Centers in Charlotte to reverse subluxation. And what we have seen is hypothyroids can clear, autoimmune thyroids can clear, antibodies can be reduced, thyroid functionality can come back if you address root cause. So remember, maybe it's a nutrient deficiency and that's it. The only way you would know is if you get tested. Maybe it is a leaky gut and that's it. The only way to know is to get tested. Maybe it's a subluxation in your spine and that's it. The only way to know is to get tested. And when I say the word test, most people start thinking, it's going to cost a fortune. My insurance isn't going to cover this. And how am I going to be able to afford it? Well, let me just tell you guys something, okay? To manage a thyroid for 1 year, prescriptive costs and the loss of just functionality is about $25,000, they estimate, per year. All right, it costs maybe like $700, $800, $900 to find out if your thyroid is functional or not, the right way, by getting blood tests and urine tests and hair tests and a chiropractic exam. If you want to hop on my masterclass, I'll show you how to save thousands of dollars on testing and do a lot of these tests at home, including the things we discussed in the ebook that you guys are hopefully downloading. I've got maybe 2 minutes left, so I'm going to do two things. Number one, pull out your phones. Do it right now. The only cost you have is the movement of your thumbs to push the following phone number into your messenger, 704-906-2094. It's on the screens. It's wherever you see it or it's wherever you hear it, 704-906-2094. I would say this ebook is worth $50 because of the amount of time and energy that I put into writing it and the information that's in it that's going to revolutionize your health. We have diets, we have guides, we have diagnostic protocols, how to read the tests, like the cheat sheets are in there, and the supplements you can start using more naturally to support your thyroid are in there. Like we did all the hard work for you, and we're giving you free access to a online event that I'm going to host the second Saturday of November. I'll talk to you directly. It's a live event. You don't have to go anywhere. It's in the comfort of your home. You just pop open your computer and boom, I connect with you just like I do through these cameras. I can see your comments on the screen, and then I'm here to help, and your cost is $0. By the way, most copays today, $50, $60, $70 to see a doctor. You can talk to me whenever you want on that masterclass. The ebook is yours free. Just text your name, first and last, your email, and the word thyroid, and we'll send it to you. Thanks for tuning in today. Hey, in the up and coming weeks, I'm going to dive deeper into the nitty-gritty of thyroid. We're going to go all the way down to the hard science. So put on your thinking caps, grab your notebooks, and tune in every Saturday for the next couple weeks. I'm going to take you through a master class on thyroid, so you would be your own endocrinologist by the time we finish that. Be blessed. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys next Saturday.